welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Today we're doing a super fun video. It's been talked about all over YouTube and all over social media in general. I'm doing a tutorial / review on the new Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette along with her Liquid Glow highlights. I used the palette to create my eye look today and I'm wearing the liquid highlighter. So I'm really excited for you guys to see the final look and everything, and to give you my thoughts and things like that, because I know it's been really been hated upon all over all social media platforms right now. So I wanted to get this video up super quick, just because it's so highly talked about right now. But if you guys, without further ado, want to know what I think of this palette and how I created this eye look, then go ahead and just keep on watching. So this is my third time trying this video, you guys. I am really struggling because I don't have a lot of space in my SD card, so it just keeps stopping recording and then I don't know. So we're good to go now. Before I get started, I'm going to take my cake bake sponge and a little bit of translucent powder and just literally stamp it right here to help with the shade the shape I'm going for. And also because I heard this palette has hella fallout, so and I never do my face makeup first, but I really wanted this video to be all about the eyeshadow palette, so I decided to do my face makeup before I got on here to do this. So what we're working with here, I'm gonna take this Dawn shade and then this Roxy shade. Sorry, this is really trying to look at my view camera. So these two shades, Dawn, Dawn and Roxy. Those, we're gonna do the exact same thing with those two on a Morphe E23. And I'm zooming you guys in really scarily close so you can really see the tea with these shadows. You guys can see all my imperfections right now and it's kind of freaking me out, but it's fine. Okay, this shade is really powdery. This Dawn shade, the lightest shade in the neutral color transition shade, it's really powdery. It just has like a pff of powder, but it does blend nicely. So sorry guys. All right, and then I'm gonna do the same thing with the Roxy shade. So this shade doesn't really have any fallout, which is nice. And this shade blends really beautifully, just like her normal shadows. So this one, not one of my concerns, considering I have now done this eye look twice. Thank goodness the first time I only got the transition colors down. The second time I was literally about to be done. And then I was like, ah shit, we're not even recording, so that's good. Okay, so now that I've got my base down, I'm going to take, see, my Morphe M513, this Untamed shade right here. I'm just going to start buffing that into my crease. Imperfections, you guys. So I'm just going to, I started the majority of the color right there, so I can, if you start it right here versus down here with a shade that's hard to blend, it makes it a little bit easier. So I would say any of the shades in this palette that are a little bit hard to blend, start at the top of your eye and drag it versus getting like a honk and whatever amount of color right at your V before you've gotten a good amount of color in your crease, because that makes it a little bit easier to plop it right in the center and then drag it versus getting it right in your V and then having to figure out how you're gonna get it in your crease if it's hard to work with. So, and I'm just doing circular motions because I will not lie to you, this shade is hard to work with. It's not the easiest shadow ever. But in that same sense, I don't know if it's just the nature of this color and it's just a hard color to manufacture. I don't know, because that could be the issue, because this palette is not like her typical colors. It is definitely a very odd color palette. It kind of reminds me of the Jeffree Star Androgyny, kind of, but it definitely has some similarities. Okay, so that's pretty nicely blended, as blended as it's going to get before I go in. What I found with the first time I used this, which was just a couple minutes ago because I didn't know I wasn't recording. Oh fuck, I just did what I told you guys not to do. Put it right in my outer V. So I'm just gonna put some more right here. Is it just, with this one, you just gotta blend like a long time and just kind of build the color up because it is a little patchy. So I'm gonna go in with a second layer of that Untamed shade and just kind of focus it in the areas that are a little bit more patchy. And just kind of place it down. I'm gonna place it down and then I'm gonna blend it out with that other brush. So I found when I just like place it over the few sparse areas and then blend it out with that other brush, that has seemed to work a little bit better. So what I found is, I don't know, overall so far it's definitely, you have to work with this shade. I think once you work with it, it's really pretty, but it definitely, you've got to work with it. And this definitely, I don't think this will be anybody's everyday palette or go-to. Just tell you that right now. Because ain't nobody got time to be blending for days like this every day. But granted, the whole idea behind this palette was your Modern Renaissance is like your everyday palette and this is like your nighttime palette, so I don't know. I'm gonna take this Axis shade right here. It's like a little bit more blue than Untamed, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing because both these blue shades definitely you have to work with them. But as you guys can see, I don't really have any fallout. And I didn't put powder over here, so the fallout hasn't been half as bad as I thought it would be. I really, after I watched some videos, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be horrible. But I don't really have too terribly much fallout, so thank goodness. And I'm just using this one to deepen that up. I'm not gonna use a ton of this because I don't want it to be too blue. And I know I said in my other video, you guys, I don't know if you watch Babs Beauty, but she did a tutorial on this, and I really kind of liked the color scheme she came up with, so I'm kind of doing that with obviously my own flair on it, but I really liked the color she put together, so she definitely was my inspiration for this look. So, okay, so this is what we have so far. I'm just gonna lightly blend over everything with this big brush again. I'm definitely gonna have to fix my brow bone. My brow bone is a hot mess. And we're gonna clean all that up. But I like the color once it's on, if that makes sense. And with Adorn, that like copper shade right here. This is the shade I'm gonna go in with, you guys. I'm gonna use a MAC 242 and get it wet with some Fix Plus. Okay, so this one has quite a bit of fallout. As you guys can see, that's some pigment, girl. That's some pigment, so. Just gonna get my brush a little bit more wet. The more wet your brush is, the more this metallic shade is gonna like stick to it. So the wetter your brush is, the less fallout you're gonna have and the more pigment you're gonna get, which that's typically how it is with any metallic shade, not just this palette. So yeah, I'm sorry, whoever said that this shade doesn't have pigment, we see the pigment, people. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my really big powder brush and a little bit of translucent powder, not a lot, and just lightly dust all of this away. So this Stila Magnificent Metals in Bronzed Bell. So And these Stilas are some of my fave things in the whole entire universe. So I'm just taking like a cream colored powder, like eyeshadow, like matte. I'm just gonna start cleaning up this brow bone because it's a little bit messy, and just cleaning up this edge. So that's the only tiny bit of Destiny. It's this matte army green shade. No, actually I'm gonna take Roxy, the peachy shade I used at first, just because I want the peach to come through a little bit. So I'm just gonna blend all this together with that peach, because I think having just a smidge of the peach poking through will be really pretty. So just because the eyes are kind of bronzy and this peachy shade is it could be considered in the bronzy family, you know? So, but I'm gonna smoke out my lower lash line with, I'm gonna use, I'm actually gonna use All Star. I'm gonna use the maroon shade. I think that will be really pretty and just add like a pop of color. Okay, I'm gonna pop on some eyeliner. This is the Urban Decay Alkaline pencil. This is from the new Heat collection. I really love this pencil. I'm just gonna lightly take one of my blending brushes that already has like a little bit of the shadow on it, and just kind of right here, just slightly make sure the edges aren't harsh, but they're not really that harsh. So it's kind of like a cut crease, but kind of not, you know. Just feel me. Hunty! I actually am really proud of myself right now because I did not think this was gonna go this good. Okay guys, I'm gonna quickly pop some lashes on off of camera, and then I will be back for some final thoughts. Okay guys, so I just popped some lashes on, and just in case I get asked, these are the Cake Face Beauty in the style Queen. Not sure what was going on just there, but I'm just gonna take a little bit of Cube and put this in my inner corners. This is like a Iridescent-y. I already put a little bit down, but I just want it to be a little bit brighter. This shade, definitely you have to build it up, but I think once it's built up, it's pretty. I'm also going to try out the Liquid Glow highlighter that they just came out with. This is in the shade Peach Fizz. Just right off the bat when I swatched it, it was a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. I'm pretty tan, so I'd say if you're like fair or even medium skin tone, Oyster or Perla would probably work better. So we're just going to try this out. I put it on a beauty blender, and I'm just going to hit the high points with it and kind of see what happens. Oh wow, okay. It's really pretty. This side needs a little more. I think blending this out with your finger, you get more pigment than with the beauty blender. But I really am enjoying this. Hi guys, sorry, so my camera totally died while I was applying this liquid highlighter, but you guys did get to see it. It's super pigmented. The only thing with this particular shade is it's a little bit dark, so if you're fair skin tone, this is not going to work for you, I don't think. Also, if you're more medium, like, I'd say you need to be pretty tan for this. I mean, I don't think it's too dark for me. I put a little bit of, from the Nicole palette, I put one of the lighter highlights on top just to make it a little bit more pigmented and to set it. But I do think this is really pretty, especially for when you want to be super dewy. I just wanted more of a highlighted look, but these are really pretty, melt into the skin. I definitely recommend these. Just make sure you're getting the shade that will work best for you. I definitely want to order the lightest shade because I think that would be really pretty, and I think it'll give me the super highlighted look versus this just kind of gives me a bronzy look, which is still pretty. So these are awesome. Now as far as this palette goes, you guys saw the little bit of issue I had with the darker shade, like the green shades. So I think, and honestly you guys saw, I zoomed in close, I already had my face makeup on. It didn't have as much fallout as everybody made it sound. And I think you just have to build up any of these like blue-green shades, you know, the more blue-green shades. And I don't know who said that the metallics don't have pigment, because this Adorn shade, this bronzy shade, had a ton of pigment. So I think this is definitely one of those palettes where if you're a creative makeup artist, I think you're gonna have a lot of fun with it because it's got a lot of shades that aren't your typical shades in an eyeshadow palette. But I think if you're newer to makeup, you're gonna have a hard time with it just because it does have those odd shades in it. So I think it's just one of those things that you're gonna have to decide for yourself if it's something that's gonna work for you or not. And I think it's just the nature of those green blue shades that, you know, they end up a little bit patchy because you don't typically see those type of shades in eyeshadow palettes. So I don't know if they're harder to make or what, but I do like this palette a lot. I think it's gonna be super pretty in fall. I don't know if you guys can tell, I am fall ready, and all I need is a pumpkin spice latte right now. But then I just put on, you guys are probably gonna ask, but this is the Anastasia liquid lip in Trust Issues. So it matched the purple under the eyes. So overall, I like the palette. I don't think it's as good as the Modern Renaissance, but I don't think it's terrible like everybody's making it sound. Some of the shades are powdery and some of them are a little bit hard to work with, but I think that, like I said, I think that's just the eyeshadow itself, like the color. I think those are probably a little bit harder to make versus some other shades. So yeah, I think this is like, if you think you can make it work, or if you have ideas for ideas that you want to create with it, it's gonna work for you. If not, you know, if you're just getting into makeup and you know you don't always spend a lot of money on high-end makeup, I would not recommend this. You're gonna have a hard time. You're probably gonna be a little disappointed because it's not an everyday palette. So, but I hope this video helped you guys, and yeah, I wanted to get this up ASAP because this palette is super hot on social media right now. But I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you a little bit later. Bye guys.